The world enters a state where demons are creating chaos and gods plotting against each other, until we meet Heron, a simple poor miner who becomes humanity and God's breath of hope. He finds out about his identity and awakens his true power, transforming into a demigod. Heron is a strong-willed young man who works as an extremely underpaid miner of ore, mostly because he and his mother are mistreated by the village he lives in. He gets paid less and less every day for his work despite not having done anything wrong except being a child of an unmarried woman, Electra. He's kind and helps people out naturally, but instead of a thank you, he gets insulted. He scrapes by one day when demons are closing in on the village to convert the villagers into demons. People start running for their lives when they see an Amazonian woman named Alexia running in with her squad. Heron hears the racket and goes to see. Alexia asks him if he's seen any demons passing by and dashes off when Heron says no. They hear a groan from something, and Heron and another man go to check it out thinking it could be a demon. But they find an old drunk man he knows very well, Elias, who just broke his leg when he needed it the most. Heron takes Elias to his mother to aid him, while he gets some water for the drunk old man. While doing it, he sees a woman in a fountain and goes to check if she needs help. He gets there and picks her up, just to witness her innards spill into the water. He gets scared and lets her go and gets faced by a demon for the first time. The demon tries to drown him in the fountain, but he manages to kick it off and fights it. The demon knocks him with a pillar, and he goes flying. Alexia quickly appears and stabs the demon, but it doesn't die, it simply enrages it and fights her back. It overpowers her and swings her into the structure. Heron wakes up and fights the demon with his fire torch, knocking it into the water. However, despite the pain, the demon still manages to get up and escape. As people are starting to pack up to leave the markets, Alexia finds a suspicious man and corners him. She arrests him and ties him up on a pillar in the middle of the village. She tells the people about the demons and how they can disguise themselves as people. Heron and his mom take Elias back to their home. There, Elias tells Heron about how the demons came to be after the Titans, where a man found the remains of a Titan washed ashore and ate its flesh to gain its favor, and inherit a bident he can throw and retract from anywhere. This man went on and created a cult of demons and now guns to convert everyone he meets or kill them. Soon, Alexia goes back to Heron to tell him about a map she found with the directions to a labyrinth in Meladoni, where the Titans' remains are still there. She asks Heron to join her squad and fight to protect the village, but he refuses because he still resents all the mistreatment he got from the same people. He hurries home and packs up their belongings to run away from the demons in the village with his mother. But Electra stops him and asks him to reconsider. Some men come to their home to test if his mother is a demon by burning her, but Heron fights them. When Electra sees his son being pummeled, she stops them and burns herself, proving that she's not a demon and saving her son. Heron gets even angrier at the people and the world for his predicament and the lack of strength to do anything to help it. Elias comes to him and tells him to go mine a special ore at the top of the mountain, so that he can use it to make him a powerful sword. Heron makes his way to the mountain but falls asleep after taking some rest while climbing. He wakes up from a dream about his mother as a queen who gave birth to 2 boys of different fathers. He continues his journey and reaches the top. He mines the ore as instructed by Elias and returns home with it. While Elias is still making the sword, Heron asks about a seal he saw in his dream and asks Elias. The old man explains to him about his birth in Corinth and how the dream came to him due to the gods of dreams. After a while, he goes to confront his mother about his dream. Electra finally admits to being a former queen of Corinth, and how it came to be she ended up poor and beaten down. She tells Heron about his father, Zeus, and how he's the one who helped them take shelter in the village for protection from Hera, Zeus' wife. Heron asks about his twin brother who's believed to be dead, and finally finds out that Elias is Zeus. He goes outside to confront Elias but doesn't find him there. He only finds the sword which when he touches, it glows a bright blue. He rejects it and throws it away. Elias soon appears to Heron while he washes his face, and he reveals his true self as Zeus. But Heron tells him to go away and never return. Alexia comes running right after, being chased by a 3-headed dog, Cerberus, as the demons manage to close in on the village. They both run for their lives. Heron searches for his mother who is in the village, also looking for him, but he doesn't find her. He and Alexia continue to run away, but Cerberus catches up to them and attacks Heron. They fight it off. Alexia manages to wound one of the heads, which slows it down, allowing them to run further until they reach the gates of the village. They inform the commander of Alexia's squad about a mine tunnel that Heron has been making for years. They could crawl through it and get away from the demons. Despite refusing to listen to the illegitimate guy, the man rallies up the villagers and leads them to the tunnel. As Heron runs around the village calling out for his mom, a demon on a sphinx at a far distance in the forest throws a spear at him, but Zeus steps in and telepathically alerts Heron about it. Heron dodges it but gets cut when the demon retrieves it. Zeus tells him to run, but Heron shoots an arrow at the demon. The demon shoots back his spear and flies down to the place to attack him at close range. He keeps attacking Heron, but Heron can dodge the attacks with the help of Zeus. The demon follows him as he keeps attacking him. Heron sets oil on fire to defend himself and get away from the demons. He gets outside and looks for his mother but still can't find her. He finally hides behind a tree when the demons continue coming with Cerberus, while their leader meets the villagers and asks for Alexia, who was hiding. He introduces himself as Seraphim and kills one man in the group because he's a noble, to feed his hatred for his uncle who killed his adoptive mother. Seraphim asks his men to look for Alexia by her scent. He then meets Electra, who is hiding. Heron comes running as Seraphim tries to kill Electra. He tries to protect her, but Seraphim punches him. He tries to fight but gets beat up. His mother tries to crawl to him laying on the ground, but Seraphim throws his spear into the air and it falls, stabbing Electra. Heron shouts in tears after watching his mother's last breath and is taken away. Elias mourns the death of Electra, and when Alexia comes, he tells her that the demons have taken Heron away. After she leaves, Heron finally sees his mother in his dreams before she crosses over into the underworld. She tells him to be strong and be himself while he's in a cage guarded by Cerberus with other men. They all get transported by Seraphim's men. They reach their destination and get off their cages to walk like prisoners, being whipped by snappers if they ever talk. They get taken to ships that will transport them to their new home if they ever get there. They enter the ships and start rowing as they leave the place along with other captives, two of whom Heron secretly talks to, Kofi and Evios. He comes up with a plan to escape. When the demon guards come in, Evios and Kofi cause a ruckus as they steal keys, this being a specialty for Evios, a thief. When the guards aren't looking, they unlock their cuffs and unshackle themselves free and fight the guards. They help the other captives free themselves, and they take over the ship and turn it around. Seraphim appears as they get some hope that they have succeeded. He gets onto the ship and reveals the sword that Elias made for Heron. Hera had sent him to get it where Heron had thrown it so that he can kill him, retrieve the Cauldron of Darkness, and kill Zeus. He approaches the men on the ship. Heron doesn't hesitate. He charges instantly at Seraphim. But when Zeus sees this and sees that his son isn't ready, he strikes down the ship with lightning, stopping the ensuing fight. When Seraphim gets up, he tries to attack Heron again, but Zeus doesn't let him. He strikes the sea multiple times, causing large currents which separate the two men and destroy the ship. Heron is finally saved from Seraphim. He gets out of the water and Elias appears, asking Heron to help him settle this mess. Heron refuses to help, but when Elias says that he could help him kill Seraphim, he agrees. Elias tells Alexia, Kofi and Evios to go to Melodone to get the Titan's remains and burn them, while he takes Heron to Olympus. He calls out a griffin and gives it to Heron. He transforms into an eagle and leads the way. Naturally, the gods reject Zeus' billionth illegitimate child. He simply doesn't know how to stop having them. But Hermes goes to meet him as his half-brother. Apollo and Artemis follow behind as they are Zeus' other illegitimate children and relate to him. Hera soon appears enraged by Zeus' actions of bringing a mortal into their realm. Zeus apologizes for his wrongdoings of being unfaithful to her and promises to change. Now, where have we heard this before? He asks for her forgiveness, and she accepts if he kills Heron, but Zeus can't have it. She and all the other gods, including Hermes who didn't particularly want to, leave the place and go to the underworld where Hades accepts them to take shelter, but ultimately stays out of the matter. Zeus takes Heron to practice fighting and getting his divine power. He pits him against one of Hephaestus' automatons. He tries his best to stand up to it, but every time, it sends him flying with no scratch from him. Zeus comes and tells him to stop fighting with anger and calm down, but he fails. He can't be calm. He doesn't know calm. All he knows is anger, and it fuels him to fight. But unfortunately, in this case, it's proving to be futile. The next day, he asks why Zeus allows Seraphim to live, and Zeus reveals to him that Seraphim is his twin half-brother, and that Electra wouldn't want him to die. Heron gaps to the unbelievable news from his father. Nonetheless, he continues his training and is finally able to calmly observe his opponent, and finds a weak point and stabs it. He defeats the automaton, and Zeus commends him. After Hermes informs Zeus about the other gods in the underworld, Heron gets a call from the Fates. Zeus takes him to see the Fates, and he waits outside while Heron goes inside alone. He gets into a room with strings of fate and meets the three sisters who want to help him. He touches his life string and sees his whole past from when he was born up to now. The fates tell him about a crossroads that he's coming to. When he touches it, he sees his friends in trouble at Melodoni. He asks if they'll die, but the fates don't answer him. He rushes outside to try and go back to help them, despite Zeus saying he's not ready yet. He arrives at the Fields of the Dead at the Labyrinth of Melodoni, where he saves his friends from a minotaur guarding the place. They all head inside and navigate the labyrinth. They reach the place where the Titan's remains should be, but they don't find them. Seraphim and his demons appear and greet them. And for the first time, Heron and Seraphim meet as brothers. Seraphim asks him to join the demons to take down the gods together, as they are the reason they lost their mother. He gives him an ultimatum to be with him or against him. Heron goes against him and gets attacked instantly. The group runs away from the demons when the fight ensues. Seraphim dispatches his spear, which causes the place to crash in and allows the group to escape while closing Seraphim and his demons in. They get on the griffin and head to Olympus, while Zeus and Heron are still watching what's happening on the sea. Hermes appears to want to give Zeus a message from Hera. When he gets closer, Hermes stabs him in the neck, but the real Hermes comes and kicks the other one, who reveals herself to be Hera. She leaves while Zeus falls to the ground, bleeding to death. Zeus finally manages to stop his bleeding before he dies and wakes up to breathe. Poseidon comes carrying Apollo, who was attacked by Ares. He tells them that Hera has the cauldron, and they need to find it to send the Titans back to sleep. Heron offers to help look for it, and they commence their plan and prepare to battle. Apollo gives Heron a bow and some arrows to protect himself, and right then, when everyone is prepared, the Titans march up to Olympus to face the gods. Olympus attacks first, but Hera reflects their attacks back. They keep attacking as the Titans alongside Hera attack back. Heron's group is sent to look for the cauldron on Earth. After searching and searching to no avail, Heron finally realizes that the cauldron is in the sky. He flies there and finds the cauldron held up by Hera's powers. He shoots the crows and the cauldron falls and catches it, despite being chased by Seraphim. He meets Seraphim, and they start their own fight for the cauldron. Seraphim shoots Heron with his spear and causes his griffin to fall to the ground. But he hangs onto the Sphinx, but Seraphim lets him go and takes the cauldron for himself. Seraphim starts to think that he rules the world. He flies above everything and the chaos that's happening. But Kofi hits the cauldron into Heron's hands and jumps on him. He tries to grab him but gets thrown off. He gets caught by the griffin. Alexia jumps and cuts the Sphinx below, making it collapse on the ground. Seraphim gets up and tries to attack her, but Heron appears from up top and jumps on him. Seraphim throws his spear at him, but he dodges it. He charges at him and punches him down. He continues to punch him as memories flood his mind, and he cries for his dead father and mother. Seraphim finally blocks the punches and stabs Heron in the face and throws him off to the side. He grabs him by the neck and tries to stab him with his spear, but Heron stops it, not wanting to get wounded. He remembers Zeus telling him to keep calm. He calms down and lets the spear stabs him. He pushes it through to stab Seraphim. Seraphim removes it and Heron turns to face him. He opens his eyes, they glow brightly, and he summons lightning to strike Seraphim and kill him. A giant appears from behind him and tries to squash him, but he spots the cauldron and carries Seraphim there to seal it with his brother's soul. The Titan's souls get retracted into the cauldron and they go back to the darkness, saving the world. Heron wakes up the next morning and is greeted by his half-brothers, who welcome him properly into the family. Watch this next video. See you on the next one.